guys, here's what we're making today. The Barbie leather tote. I give you all the measurements in the pattern. This one I have a foam pocket. I have a magnetic snap closure. I have shoulder straps. Nothing on the back. This is purple leather. Isn't it gorgeous? This one I did line, and I have a zipper pocket on the inside. Fully lined, and it's a drop-in lining. Easy peasy. Doesn't take long. The Barbie leather tote. There's no pattern. It's all straight cuts. You can just follow along on the video and make your own. Doesn't have to be leather. It can be vinyl, cork, whatever you want to make it out of. Let's get started. Hi everyone. This is Barbie with Jeannie's Designs. And Tony and I just got back from a few days away. It was very much fun. We went and saw a couple things on my bucket list. We went to see where Elvis was born in Tupelo, Mississippi. That was fun. And then we went to Graceland and saw where, you know, the whole Graceland mansion and all of that. That was a ton of fun. It's much different than I anticipated. I had heard that it was very tiny and there wasn't much to it, but I was pleasantly surprised. So I had a good time. So did Tony. It was fun. I'll share some pictures on Facebook here in the next few days. Then we went up to Pawhuska, Oklahoma, to see the Mercantile and the lodge where the Pioneer Woman films and her Mercantile. We didn't stay at her boarding house. We stayed across the street. Just as nice. It was so much fun. It really was fun. You know, they have a restaurant there. The food was fabulous. I did a little bit of shopping. Nothing major. But that was a lot of fun. We didn't get to see her, but we went out to the lodge where she films, and that was a bunch of fun. So you'll see that in the pictures that I post on the Facebook group. And then the weather was really bad, and Tony had a terrible toothache from a crown that he had put in on Monday. So we turned around and came home. So it wasn't the long trip that we anticipated, which was fine. We're actually better with breaking trips up into shorter little trips. But we had a great time despite that, and despite the weather. It was cold up there. I was cold and rainy. And then, you know, as soon as we hit Florida on the way home, it's 90 degrees and sunny. Spent the day in the pool today. Look at my little red face. So we had a great time. But today, I am going to do another Barbie tote. As I go, I will give you all the measurements. There's no pattern for it, but I am doing it in this purple leather. And I'm going to line it this time. And I am putting a zipper pocket on the inside. So a couple different things. The ones that are unlined are fine. If you just want a simple tote, those are available on my website. But this one is going to be lined, and I'm lining it with this purple luxe nylon. So there we go. Let's get started. All right, let's get started. So I'm making 2 double straps. An inch wide. I'm using Tex 70. I did not sky this. I maybe should have. We'll see. We'll see how it goes. I wanted my straps to be fairly sturdy. I think it'll be fine. am going to use strap ends, so I'm not too worried about how these ends look. So you can see how it's actually fairly thick, and I'm okay with that for a strap. I did skive everything else, so the temper of this leather is fairly soft. So let me see what the I'll just see what the ounces is real quick while you're here. Let's see. So this is unskived. Yeah, this is only 2.5 ounces. So that's good. I did skive the rest of the ends just because I didn't want really thick seams. Okay, so this, no secret here, this is a 30-inch piece by 4 divided down the middle, and I'm folding it into the center, just shy of the center. You want to leave a little room for it to turn there without getting real bunchy. That's a very technical sewing term, bunchy. Yeah. Okay, let's do it. And I have my little white seam guide that I got from Sailrite when I got my machine. I think you can still buy them, but I think mine came with them, if I remember. But that's been a long time ago now. 3 years. It's hard to believe. Perfect. Look how good that looks. It's variegated purple and blue thread. Love it. All right, let's get this off. I'm going to decrease my stitch length to 2.5. And we're going to put the tag on our zipper overlay for the inside. I'll pull those threads to the back. stop where you started. Hold on to your thread so you know which one to pull on the back. And tie those off. I already had tape on here, and I stitched over my tape. That's hilarious. Right there. Perfect. Perfect. All right, increase your stitch length back. Okay. Now, let's go ahead and put this on your my lining piece. And I'm just going to come down about 2 inches. And I had this marked. Now it's gone, so let me mark it again. The center where I want it to be. Okay. I already marked all the centers on my lining pieces. Perfect. Now let's stitch around that and we'll pull those threads to the back as well. Let's pull that to the back. And stop where you started. Hold on to your threads. Pull it to the back. And I just even up my threads. Makes them easier to tie off. Tie them off. Oh my gosh, that looks good. All right, now we're going to cut out our center. And our lining pieces, these 2 lining pieces and my 2 exterior pieces are 12 by 12. 12 by 12. My overlay, I'll tell you the size, that it's a Sew Yours overlay. I'll tell you what the opening is here in a minute. I think it's 7 or close to that. going to get rid of that. Don't need that extra fabric. There we go. My overlay is, the opening is 7. My opening is 7, so I will be using my zipper jig. Okay, so this is 12 by 12. My other lining piece is 12 by 12. My exterior is 12 by 12. On my exterior, I did put some Decavel Light out of the seam allowances to give me a little more stability there. And then I'm still doing my front pocket. These pieces are, let me tell you what they are, 8 by 6. 8 by 6. And I am lining it this time, so I am just going to leave the bottom open and do a seam allowance. And I did skive this piece on all 4 sides. Okay, now let's just trim the corners. And turn it right side out. Poke out your corners. Nice. Now I'm gonna stitch across the top at 1/8 of an inch. Actually, should I do, I think I'll do 2 rows of stitches. So I did a 1/4 inch seam on this. The other 2 I did not line, so this is a little different than that. So I'm going to do another row. Okay. All right. Beautiful. Okay, so I made my connectors, and I just have a little piece of tape here. I did put some, this is soft tempered leather, so I did put some Lux Fuse or Decavel, whatever you prefer. And then we're just going to fold that down nice and evenly, just like that. I put another little piece of tape back here. And then I went over and down 1.5 inches. over and down 1.5 inches. So we're going to do that on these two. Over and down 1.5 inches. So my pocket is perfect down there. Let me make sure this is perfect. Perfect. So now we're just going to stitch around those. And pull the threads to the back. And come over. And then I'm going to go backwards. And then come forward. I'm going to grab that thread though. It's hard to see. There we go. Okay. Take your time with this, very visible. Okay, hold your threads and pull that one to the back. Even those up and tie them off. Perfect. Now, I will put 2 rivets here, but that's what it looks like. Perfect. Let's do this other one. Turn and go backwards. Pull that thread to the back if I can grab it. There we go. Hold on to your threads. And tie those off. And then we'll add some rivets. Perfect. Okay, let me grab some rivets. All right, I got some rivets. And I marked my holes. Let's put these in. And again, I know I've said this multiple times, but if you're gonna do rivets, put your post in the same side and your cap in the same side. That way they all match perfectly. There we go. Let me go press. All right, so there you have it. The phone pocket and your 2 connectors. I'm going to repeat that on the other side, and we will do that on fast forward. All right, so we have our zipper overlay. Now we're just going to do our zipper pocket. So our lining pieces are right side up. And our zipper is right side up. Well, that didn't go very well, did it? Let me try that again. I missed my pocket. Okay, that's better. Now let's fold that over and just stitch it flat. And let's repeat that on this side, matching our raw edges of our pocket. Okay, perfect. Let's put it in there. Let's grab some tape. And I wasn't going to use my zipper jig, but I think I am. Let's do it. So I can put my pole way off to the side here. There we go. Okay. Perfect. I made my pocket much bigger than necessary just for this very reason. Let's see. Perfect. Every time. All right, let's stitch that on. I'm going to pull that thread to the back. Okay, so before you go too much further, pull your zipper in, your zipper pull. And tie those off. Perfect. Straight as an arrow. Love it. Okay, now I am going to leave this open on the bottom just to finish the bottom. I'm thinking as I'm saying that, I might just do a drop in. Let me think about it. Either way, I'm just going to leave it open for now. Okay, here we go. Stitch up your sides. And I always fold those up about 3/8 of an inch just to give myself a nice clean area when I finish the pocket. So just like that, I'm going to fold this up about 3/8. And then we'll turn that so we're ready. Perfect. Okay, next step. All right, I'm going to put my lining together first. So I'm just attaching the short ends, and I'm going to make my seam. Half-inch seam allowance. I can't get that open. Can you see what I'm doing there? And then I am going to just do 1 row of stitches on one side. Just to keep that seam down, and then I'm going to trim it. You don't need to do this. I'm just probably being goofy. Just trying to decrease any bulk. All right, let's add the other side. And then I'll find my centers. All right, let's find our centers, put those seams together. Okay. Let's attach it. And I'm going to get my Wonder Clips because it's a little slippery. Now I'm going to leave this side open, I think. I haven't yet decided now that I say that. And pull this up to the top. Okay. I'm just going to do a drop in, so I'm going to do it all the way around. 1/2 inch. Fits perfectly, guys. Okay. And then I'm going to trim the seam by about 1/2. Except for the top inch. Okay. Perfect. Perfect. Let's do the other side. All right, so center your other lining piece on the bottom. Bring it up to the top. And repeat. All right, let's trim that. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and close this up. Since I'm going to do a drop in. This slippery fabric is very difficult sometimes to work with. It's nice for linings, but quite the challenge sometimes. Okay. Drop-in lining will be easier, I think, in the long run, so that's what we're gonna do. Okay. Beautiful. Perfect. All right, let's work on the outside. So for this, I am going to do the side. This is the side, this is the bottom. So find all your centers if you haven't, which I didn't. Just on your bottom. And I'm going to attach my bottom. And we are going to stop a ½ inch from the end. So mark that if you need to. I'm just going to get a pen so I can see it. Stop Stop and start a ½ inch from the end. Okay. And that'll be important when we get to the sides. Backstitch well. Okay. All right, let's do the sides. And the same thing. Stop and start a ½ inch from the bottom. This is going to allow us to clip that and get a nice corner. Okay, let's see. Okay. And then we'll do the bottom. That's going to be very nice. Okay, let's do the other side. Start and stop that ½ inch. And you notice I kept all my Decaville outside of the seam allowance. That's important. Okay. Now, we are going to clip in to our seam on the bottom. Let me see. Just to that seam. That allows you to have a nice flat. So I clip there and there. Not quite to my stitching. Perfect. And start and stop a ½ inch from here. Don't go start the whole way. Let me see how that looks. Oh my gosh, that's perfect. Perfect. Same thing. You're going to want to start and stop a 1/2 inch here. And clip into your seams. To your bottom, just shy of where your stitching is. That'll give you a nice flat bottom. So I clipped here and here. Perfect. And then start and stop it, or start at that 1/2 inch on this unsewn side. Let's see. Oh my gosh, that's perfect. So you can see how nice those corners are. Okay, let's add our other side. Do your centers. Pull it to the top. And just repeat those steps. This is a much sturdier bag, number 1 with the interfacing, number 2 with the lining. Okay. All right, let's do it. I just went down the sides first, and then I clipped it so I have a nice corner here. So I'm going to do the same over here. Okay, now let's do the bottom. This is really a good way to do it. I think you get nice crisp corners. We'll see when I turn it. All right, I'm going to trim everything except for the top inch. Okay. Just making sure I clipped all my corners. Perfect. All right, let's clean up this mess. And I'll turn it. Hold on. All right, let's turn it. Oh, I didn't trim this one side. Huh. There we go. All right. You know, before I turn it, I'm going to put some tape on it. So I don't have to do that. I don't have to struggle with that. Let's do that. So I'm going to tape all my corners, the tops down flat, and then I'll put tape all the way around since I'm going to do the drop in. You know, when you make something without a pattern, you just kind of go by the seat of your pants. And that's what I've done here. I think it's going to be fine. We'll see. So that's what I'm doing. I'm just folding and taping those side seams down that I did not trim so that I have something nice and flat. Okay, perfect. Now let's put tape all the way around. And I'm gonna run out of tape. Let's see if I can make it all the way around. Oh, I can. How beautiful is that? You guys, I made it all the way around with that little piece of tape. I love it. Okay, let's just get that on there nice and secure. And then I'm gonna turn it before I take the tape off. Let's turn it. Do you hear that noise? I think it's the Decaville making that. I like it. Okay. Yeah, drop-in linings, much easier than doing a turning with this leather and the Decaville. Yep. That all looks really good though. Perfect. All right, now let's fold that down. Hold on. All right. Let me find the beginning of my tape. And let's fold it down. Hold on. All right, let's fold it down. And I'm folding it down by about 3/8. You can do half. I'm just going to pinch my side seams. Everything else is sticking very well. So your natural fold is where your decaville starts and stops, which is perfect. So when you put your decaville on, just make sure you do it nice and straight. Oh my, that looks really good. Okay. All right, let's do the same with our lining piece. Fold down your side seams at the top. Okay. Okay. All right, let's put it in. So this is my front with that, and so I want my zipper to be in the back. So we're just gonna slide that in, and we're gonna first match up our corners. And then we'll fit everything else in. These clips, I know I'm going to get questions about these clips, are from Amazon. I will link them in the description below. They are fabulous. And then just clip it all the way around. And then I will do some crimping of the corners just to get them nice and flat. And then I'm going to go over on Thor and do the top stitching. You'll want to bend your square rings out of the way as you go. It fits perfect. All right, let's get a Thor. All right, let's do it. I'm going to start over here. I gotta grab my threads. All right, here we go. I got clips everywhere, so I'm just trying to keep my clips out of the way. All right, here we go. Okay, I'm going to pull my thread to the inside because I'm not going to backstitch. I'm going to tie these off. Okay. Thor's a beast. He's just a beast. I'm going to start and stop. Okay. Let's pull that to the inside. Make sure I caught my lining everywhere. Even those threads off and tie it off. Oops, I missed one. And then we'll attach our handles. Okay. Yeah, caught all the lining. That is perfect. And the top stitching is immaculate. Look at that. It's perfect. All right, let's do our handles. All right, so I have my, I used my rivet hole measuring. So you just put this on the end. And I almost always use C and A. That gives me plenty of room. But this is a rivet hole guide from Jolie Lee Creations. It's perfect. I use it all the time. So let's put our rivets in and attach them. Oops, I only need one. And I'm using my long rivets that I sell on my website. This is pretty thick. Let me see if you can even see what I'm doing here. It's thick leather, so I have started using these long rivets. So much easier. So much easier. Okay. Just make sure you don't have anything twisted. And put your other one on. And grab a cap. So there we go. I'll go press those. Let's put them on the other side. But you can see how much longer these rivets are to go through long or thick fabrics. It would actually be fine for thick vinyl too. Okay. One more. Then we'll be done. I did put end caps on my straps too, by the way. Okay, I'm gonna go press those. All right, here we go. This is a leather, purple leather lined simple tote. Look how square those bottoms are. It's just perfect. So nothing on the back. You have a cell phone pocket on the front. Let me put my cell phone in here. fits perfect. Cell phone's in there. Okay, you've got shoulder handles, and on the inside you have a zipper pocket. And that's it. And tons of room. Tons. Oh, you know what I forgot to do? I got to put my magnetic snap on. Let's do that. Let me grab it. Okay. So I'm using magnetic snaps that are rivet snaps, so I can put them on anytime. But if you were going to do prong magnetic snaps, you would have wanted to put them on before you put the top on. Okay. So I just measured and got my center and punched my hole, and let me go press it. So there's that one. So that's what it looks like. All right, here we go. A very simple tote. Magnetic snap, foam pocket, nothing on the back. You could certainly add a slip pocket back here, all leather. And you open it up and you have a zipper pocket and tons of room. Tons of room. I love it. This is my new tote because it's purple. And I want you to see my new t-shirt. Tony and I went to Graceland. We went to Tupelo, Mississippi, where Elvis was born, and walked around. And then we went to Graceland and did the tour. So much fun. I'd never been there. It was on my bucket list. If you haven't been, I think it's worth it. If you like Elvis at all. I thought it was pretty fun. So that's it. The simple Barbie tote. I gave you all the directions. So the front and the back are 12 by 12. The sides are 12 by 5. The bottom is 12 by 5. The pocket is 8 by 6. And I did line this pocket. And the handles are 30 inches long. And then I used these strap connectors from Sew Yours. These are her bigger ones. I think these are 1 inch. And I just cut them out by hand. And then a magnetic snap, and that's it. I did line this one. The first two I did not line, but I just did a drop-in lining. Easy peasy. I love it. It's a great size tote. Not huge, not small, plenty big. All leather, which I skived. Thanks for watching. Go make your own tote. You don't need a pattern. It's so easy. You can just follow my measurements and you can follow the video. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.